This ain't no game, this that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55 was goody. Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. We know the show spread fake news. We just call it podcast. West, Joey, Sam, Shawn, Dalton. And you know that boy hit you. We say he want small fries. Tell them they better make them big. Yeah, you already know when we be on.
You bet. Jordan, here he goes. This place is gone.
If we set it instead of the stone, sit in the seat, set up your phone. You in the Cardinal Sports Zone.
Straight steal of home. The slide. The Cards win.
The magic is working tonight. How do you know when things are
The emotional journey to the championship.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, coming to you exclusively from the Rally House Studios. I'm your host, Jeremy Wyman. No idea where the rest of the guys are today, but I can tell you who is here with us today. U of L football beat writer and sometimes Miami fan. It's our guy, Sam Baisden.
What up? What up?
Didn't deny it. The little big brother, Joe Wyman.
Acknowledge me.
Shawn. Why do
You
y'all
didn't even know which hand to use.
No, he was like dancing
hear
like it was the
myself.
70s. Over here. And last but not least, he is the offbeat wonder. Never mind. He's the offbeat wonder. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the surprisingly available Shawn Barber.
How's it going?
How's it going, folks?
Let's go that.
Look, we got a jam-packed show for you all today. We know it's NFL Sunday, so it's kind of difficult to juggle the two, but my Steelers don't play till 8 o'clock tonight, so I don't really care today. Just kidding. We're here with a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about yesterday's debacle. We're going to talk about what we think could be done to change what's going on, which I still don't feel like we're at a point of no return yet. I feel like very easy things that can be fixed. We're going to talk about Louisville Live Friday night, which was hey, what's up, Ransdale family? What's up, Coach Watson? It's, great weekend. And as you all can tell, the Cardinal Sports Zone crew are all got their hats on. The new CSZ merch that we have coming out. We've got different colors and stuff. We got the gray. Joey's got the dark gray. The rest of us have the red. And we'll show you we got a couple more designs over here in the bag. We're going to show you all that we will have for sale for the very low price of $35. So
Gray goes with a lot more stuff. That's why I picked gray.
that's fair. That's a fair choice. Don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or however, send us your questions on social media. Check on the graphic below to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on social media and how to help support monetarily. We appreciate that as well. Hit the thumbs up button while you're here on YouTube. Make sure you aren't watching us on YouTube if you can. It'll help us out more with our sponsors and stuff. And speaking of our great sponsors, Fitness Market, Fourpex, Collision Course Crew, Tailgaters, Cherry Pick and Shoot 360, Mossy Oak, Planet Fitness, and Rally House. Our house, your house, Rally House, local stuff. Or is it local goods? It's local something. It's all local. We love it at Rally
Local
House.
good stuff.
By the way, if you go in there and mention that you have seen us on you heard about Rally House. Now, this is the Jefferson Mall location only. I've had a couple people go out there this week. They gave them 20% off. And that's some high-end stuff up there. So if you get 20% off of $100, that's $20 off your total order.
That's good math.
That is very good math. I'm not Sid Vicious, and I'm not Scott Steiner either. So, but yeah, check, support all of our sponsors. Go in there, tell them you heard us, heard about them on our show, or just tell them, hey, love the Cardinal Sports Zone show. Love y'all are doing a sponsorship with them, and that goes a long way with us with our sponsors. So we're gonna have a nice little vent session today, and then we're gonna move on. We're not gonna harp on everything. Can't really do that anyway. I didn't write any game notes yesterday because I was so nervous the entire game. So you all know what happened. We ended up. Well, the refs ended up dropping the ball, but when SMU dropped the ball, we picked it up, and then the refs. Anyway, game shouldn't have came down to just one play anyway. But that listen, Miami's last 2 games have come down to a play. So you can very easily be like, well, one play shouldn't have decided the game, but it does sometimes. And yesterday we were cost the opportunity to win the game on a blatant just ACC call from North Carolina. It was like, hey, don't let them win this game. So, all right. So, Vince Session, put all your thoughts in the chat. We'll read them out. We'll talk about them. Any questions you have, we'll be more than happy to answer as well. For me, my simple thoughts on the game yesterday, it kind of hurts you when you don't have your 2 top defensive backs. No Quincy Riley. Devin Neal left the team before then. That's been documented before the game. Bad referee calls. Another week of questionable play calling. I think that's fair to – I think you can criticize Coach Braun without being – douchebags. Like I've seen a lot of the local media try to be douchebags. And I don't think that Coach Braun thinks he's above criticism. So that makes it perfect. If you saw his press conference, you go to cardinalsportzone.com, read Sam's breakdown of the game at the end. The press conference is in there from yesterday. He took a lot of what's the word I'm looking
Accountability?
for? Accountability. I was going to say accessibility, but took a lot of accountability for the things that went wrong. He's never been a throw players under the bus type dude anyway. So, Sam, you're the beat writer. We'll let you go first. Terry, I didn't have very good cell signal in there. So by the time I found out what section you were in, I was already out the door. So I apologize. Apparently the media Wi-Fi was screwed up, and that's what I was connected to the media Wi-Fi, and it was messed up. So I apologize. I did want to link up and say hi, but yeah, I missed you too, bro. And really quick before we get Sam to answer, only female teammate, only female football player in the history of University of Louisville football, Catherine Clope, watching the show. Hello, teammate. I hope you're doing well. Sam, and again, we're going to talk about, later on, we're going to talk about what can we do, what can be done to fix it. So I don't want your all's opinions on what we need to do better to an extent. Obviously, you can mention it. Don't elaborate on it too much. But what were your thoughts about the game yesterday? What went wrong?
From the start, I had an uneasy feeling. You know how they do the pregame intro videos and Coach Braun does his speak and then the team comes out? That was mistimed. I mean, y'all wouldn't know, but it was mistimed because the players came out during the pregame video, which never happened. They usually come out afterwards. So I was like, dang, they screwed it up. Never seen that happen. Even when they were doing some of their drills in practice, they looked kind of off. So that gave me an uneasy feeling. And then once we started the game, everything else seemed like it was kind of out of sync from the first quarter in on out. So that's as much as I have to say about that. Like you said, we'll go into some other things later on, but the whole game just had a different feel to it. The crowd was, for the ones that showed up, they were loud. They made an impact on the field as much as they could have. So I appreciate those, and I know the fans. I mean, the players do too. But like I said, yesterday just felt out of sync for me.
I do want to say this because I do need to take up for the players, the football parents, all the people that get on social media and see all this hatred on there every day. Look, the kids getting, I'm going to look at it in both directions. Now that kids get money, some of the fans act like it's a pro team now, so they can criticize and talk crap all they want to. I don't really know how I feel about that. I mean, I would never get on social media and rip any kids anyway, because that's just the way I was brought up in the game. Now that they're paid, it doesn't change my approach to how I handle my job of professionalism. You'll still never see me on Twitter saying, oh man, player 1 needs to transfer, fire coach 2, fans or players mom number 3 can go eat it. Just none of that stuff you'll ever hear coming from me. So that's I was just brought up differently, I guess. I've been around for a lot longer than everybody else. But What I will say is you can, under no circumstances, get on social media and tag these players and talk negatively. Now, I'm not, listen, I know it sounds like I'm telling you what to do on social media. Kind of am. Don't mean to be that way. But here's the thing. When you all do that, 5-star player for next year's season is like, well, I don't want to go there if they're going to turn on their own players like that during the hard times. There's always going to be hard times at Louisville. We're not a tier 1 football team yet. We can be in the future. I think we're working on being that in the future, but you can't get on social media and at these kids and trash them, because A, it can affect future recruits. B, it can affect those players' attitudes. And C, their moms are all on Twitter. They all see it, and then they feel some type of way. Then they have to take up for their kids. And whether it's out of pocket to you or not, it's rightful to, you want to take up for your family, right? I mean, there was a whole situation with Nolan where I had to get on Twitter and take up for him. So it is what it is. Let's see what Ransdale family. Hope they tune it up a little bit and get some of these need to win games back. A lot of season left. Yep. Miss Catherine, do you feel like it is worse now, though? I was embarrassed even by the fans sitting around me yesterday and how disrespectful and derogatory they were. I do think it's worse now, because before you had your own drunk uncle that was in the stands that was like, oh man, we're not winning by as much. Now I have seen people from other websites, and I'm not gonna fire no shots, not gonna get, but I have seen them at the games be just as nasty as other fans, because nobody does anything about the media's behavior here. They can just say whatever they want to, and it's like, okay, well, y'all still talk about us for free, so we're letting it go.
It's the era of entitlement.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
So
feel
yes, I
that
do.
They're entitled to speak exactly what's in their head instead of doing what they were taught growing up.
Well, then you see it instantaneously
If
too.
you can't say anything nice about somebody, just don't say anything at all. I mean, you can think whatever you want, but when you get outside, you get in the car home, say what you want to say.
And that's like we were talking the other night on the ride back from Louisville Live. It's this generation's entitlement, that lack of respect. They just nobody's. It's the what do we call it, Sam? The era of the screen, where parents didn't teach their kids how to act right. They just put a screen in front of them and expected that to just fix everything. But I do feel like it's worse now, because even back, and that's saying a lot, because my very first game at U of L, as a fan, I think it was our first game, my dad took us to see Texas, which was a top 10 team,
Cardinal Stadium,
play Louisville at Cardinal Stadium. We upset them. And even back then, in a more racially upcharged time, I didn't hear anything half as bad as I hear these days. Garrett says no real pressure on the QB. They need to move Ashton back to the edge instead of rotating him around. The edge rushers we brought in aren't doing it. All right, Rand's definitely a bunch of online poop talkers is all they are. Majority would never say no, and that's the thing.
There wasn't, social media back then, like when we were growing up either. So
no, when we played football, there not only was there no social media, there was no huddle, there was no YouTube, there was no proof of anything. Like me and Joey could sit here and say we were all world football players in high school.
I was
there, and there was no fact check. We were, but I mean, you couldn't prove me wrong. Most of my coaches aren't even around anymore. Ask them.
Hey, Dad. Ask them.
Yeah, get back to us too. But no. All jokes aside, it's just, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but I felt like it was very, very important. Like, I'm not trying to tell you all how to conduct yourself on social media, but please don't add the play, because then basketball. I know for a fact. Basketball recruits see how y'all treat the football guys, and then they're even last year there were a couple of recruits that kind of backed away because of the way we were crap talking our 10-2 football team. 10-1 at the time.
Jack Plummer's a winner.
You know,
Win-win.
I gave him a lot of flack, and I thought I was fair with him last year, but he really came in and was the Band-Aid we needed last year. So, anyway, Shawn, your thoughts on the game yesterday?
It was something I brought up on the podcast last week. I was worried about the up-tempo style they run, the no huddle offense, and how we
Yeah.
would handle that. And we handled it poorly.
Yep.
We were trying to substitute when they didn't. And so we had an offsides penalty. I think we had 12 men on the field penalty. I think it happened twice.
You had illegal touching.
But it's just you got to know what you're dealing with, and
Didn't deny it.
That's just the coaches got to figure that one out, right? That's more on the coaches. Where the execution problems, of course, it was just a team wide failure.
Yeah,
It was. And part of it was SMU. The quarterback's actually good.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Credit where credit's due. He's a gamer.
But we also helped them a lot too. Let's be honest. We did help them a lot.
I was going to say, whereas the Notre Dame game, I came away feeling like they were a better team than I thought they were. SMU didn't impress me yesterday at all. I think that was more so, in my opinion, that was our failures that lost that game. It wasn't their successes, even though their successes came off the heels of our failures. But nevertheless, Joey.
Well, I'm going to retort real quick to Shawn. Like he said, about their up-tempo. Here's the thing. Do you think that so they knew that our defensive room knew how they played, and we seen what the product was, right? How much difference do you think it would have made though with their up-tempo speed even if we would have just had less confusion out there? I mean, is our personnel, I guess what I'm getting at is the personnel that we have, would it have mattered? Do you think? I mean, because we've seen our defensive personnel play against other style offenses, and sometimes you can't help it. It just is what it is. You just got to try to score more points in them, because we did in what was it? The third quarter for sure. Like the second, up until about halfway through the fourth quarter, in the second half, we adjusted. We were dominating them. We were stopping them. This, that, and other. But going back to one thing I mentioned Wednesday, offensive line play. Shuck was running for his life. He was running for his life, and then, Ja'Cory Brooks had a heck of a game yesterday, but could it have been a whole lot better? Absolutely. He dropped 2 passes in the end zone, right in his hands. I mean, there's 14 points. And I'm not sure if we scored on those drives or not. I know the one we did not.
I think we got a field goal out of one, I want to say.
Well, let's just say we got a field goal out of both of them, because I know we didn't score touchdowns on them.
No, we definitely. I think we only got a field goal
That's
out.
8 points different, right?
Yep.
What did we lose by?
We lost by 7, right? Yeah.
Okay, so that coupled with them scoring a touchdown on the overturned fumble, I mean, that's a 15-point win.
And I'll say this:
we played well enough to win the game.
The offense did have some issues with play calling, because I feel like we should have run the ball more.
Well, there in the fourth quarter, the first part of the fourth quarter, we got in that I formation and we dominated them. They couldn't do anything. Isaac Brown was killing them. Shuck was killing them on the play action. And then we got a penalty, I think it was, and it pushed us back, some yardage. And then, let's just go away from the I formation now. And I don't think we ever lined up in I formation the rest of the game.
We didn't, even on I think it was 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, or something like that. And then we went forward on 4th and 1. He didn't go back to the I formation.
No, I'm like, why
not
go back? Yeah, and we didn't get it. So why?
And again, look, and I get on Shawn a lot of times, because he'll be saying, "Oh, this blah blah blah, this blah." Like, Shawn, why didn't he make this throw? Why didn't he cut back here? He doesn't see the field the way we see the field on a TV screen, or the way that Sam sees it up in the booth. They see it, us sitting right here. One in play, he was like, he should have cut back. Well, he didn't. He didn't have eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah.
So so I like to try to give him a little bit of leniency on plays like that. But we played well enough to win the game, and we still didn't play good. So, kind of going back to what Jeremy said, Am I ready to jump off the ship here? Heck no. All it takes is a couple adjustments. And again, I've said it, the first 2 games, I'm not even counting those really. It was like practicing against yourself and no offense to them, maybe but lesser competition. So this was game 3. We'll figure it out. Jeff Brom's smart. He's going to figure it out. Defense had the defense has to change. I went into the season with higher expectations of our defense than anything, and not pooping on anybody, but man, it does not look good so far. Not look good.
And it doesn't help when you missing Riley on that back.
That's true.
Too, so
Some of those throws maybe don't happen when he's there. And
No.
that's what everybody's got to understand. He's a projected first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
That's a game changer in college. I mean, if he's in that game, some of those throws don't get made. And a lot of the completions that they had were wide open, and it's because of breakdowns in communication or Quincy Riley not being. I mean, it just is what it is, and that's not downgrading any other DB that we have. Quincy's he's special.
top talent for a
Yeah,
reason.
he's special.
Yeah.
Babu says the main difference is we won the 1-score games last season, and this season so far we haven't.
0-2.
Even Satterfield. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Delete.
I don't know who that is.
In a true look, I knew we were going to get this question. I should have known we were going to get it from the field goal kicker. What are your all's thoughts on not taking the field goal and instead of going for it and failing to make it? For me, if we were playing in Alabama or a Georgia or a Tennessee, you got to go for the points. But when you're playing a team that you're better than or you think you're better than, I'll be honest with you. The second they lined up, the second that the third down was stopped, I turned to Shawn and Joey and said, we got to go for this.
I think
It's not going to hurt us if we miss it. I don't remember if it did or not. I'm just very confident in things in the moment.
They scored because that was the one when they came down and the fumble reversed.
Was it?
I think
No, that was before half. The reverse fumble was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, aren't you talking about the 4th and 1 in the 4th when they?
No, she's talking about like right before the half, right? I believe.
I always say take the points before halftime.
Oh, you're talking about, I thought you were talking about the 4th when the game was tied when we could have went.
Gotcha. No, no, that first one I was okay with us going for because I felt like we were still going to beat SMU. No offense to them. I know it sounds like a lot of
She
offense.
said no. So I'm thinking she's talking about the one later in the game.
Yeah, I would have. When the score was tied, I think we should have kicked the field goal because our defense was playing pretty good at that point.
Well, the one at the end of the game, that would have been a pretty. The one y'all, if that's the one y'all are talking about, that would have been a pretty long kick.
It would
Yeah,
have
I
been a-
disagree on that
it-
one.
It would have been around 40 yards.
That one, I 100% agree with
I see
going
it.
for it because the momentum, the way they were able to
see?
move the. Yeah,
It was tied. It would have been around 40 yards, and he had been making 45.
it would have
46.
tied the game.
No, it would have put us up 3.
Okay, I don't know. Just a field goal going in, how they were able to move the ball up and down the field. Now we had stopped them here and there, but for the majority of the game, the way they were able to just move the ball down the field, what's a field goal going to do? You need to put that touchdown and to force them to have to do certain things.
Yeah, because in this situation, we still lose 34-30.
Yeah,
But
So it didn't make a
the
difference.
thing is, it was momentum. People, you never.
Yeah, but the refs took the momentum away from us.
I understand that, but in the situation, you would have been up 30-27. Then you kick the ball, you kick it back to them and force them to go. I mean, it probably would have been around the same distance, but you're up. You put a little bit more game pressure on them to score because scores tied 27 all. All we have to do is get in field goal range. There's no real game pressure there because we know if we score it up. But not if you're behind in the 4th quarter, it puts a little bit more game pressure on you to have to produce some kind of points.
It had zero issues.
we actually talked about that yesterday. If we'd have took that field goal, then they come down and score. We're still in the same predicament. We still got to get a touchdown.
We still, yes, but I'm saying
Yeah.
it was momentum is what I'm saying about it.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And on the field, the coaches are going to be able to feel the way the game's moving better than we are. So
When we punted the ball, we punted it from nearly midfield. The punter was past the midfield marker on that one, so it was going to be it was going to be a long kick anyway. And Travel said has become more consistent the last 2 weeks, but you still can't get that out of your head that you possibly miss it. And it's the same situation, because I remember the announcer saying, well, that would have been where they got it from anyway if they would have went for it, so why not go for it? So nevertheless, SMU, every time they needed to score, they scored, and I feel like that's what the feeling of the coaching staff was that they were going to go ahead anyway. No, it was very makeable, like 40 yards. I don't know then, because the only one I can remember was at the end of the game, and it was definitely
We punted from the 47-yard line.
okay. So
Yo, not that one. She's not talking about that
So
one.
the one right before that?
She's talking about the one when we went for it on 4th down and missed and didn't get it.
Oh,
The
down,
one you're
down.
talking about the third-
Okay.
Yeah, when the score was tied.
28-yard line.
Yeah, so it'd have been around a 45.
then I don't know.
No,
Well, yeah,
I'm wrong.
about 40, between 40 and 45.
Yeah, 4th and 1 at the SMU 19.
Yeah, so it
But
probably
no idea, because I don't remember us being that close.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't remember that either.
that's the one when we were saying that they should have kicked the field goal.
Or I do remember it now, because my thought process was you go for it. If you don't get it, the way our defense had been stopping them.
Yes.
And again, that's the game flow, right?
Yeah.
So in the coaches' heads, hey, our defense has been playing very well. Like, let's go for it. Let's try to get it. And if we don't, let's put our trust in the defense.
Not the right
I didn't
call.
at the point in time. I didn't agree going for it, but when he did, I was like, you know what? Let's line up in the I formation. And when he didn't, I was kind of frustrated because like Joey had said earlier, the I formation had been working.
That was the drive it stalled on. We had got all the way. I
Yeah.
do remember that now. That's the drive that stalled after we went away
from the I formation.
from the I formation.
But then what did our defense do? They forced a fumble that we recovered on that drive, and
that's when they scored. Yeah, they scored.
Yeah. So, okay, I know what you're talking about now. All right, but I don't know. Again, within that range, I think it's, they're into the buzz terms analytics. I think that the analytics probably supported him going for it. I don't know.
No, it did on the TV. You even said
It's
100% go for it. I mean, but no, they didn't score on that. They punted again. Like
so they didn't score on that drive.
So what drive did they score on? Because they scored on
we got the ball in again after them and punted. Then they scored.
So that was the 89-yard.
Yeah,
and they scored on.
Yeah. So like they didn't score on that drive. So again, it really had no bearing, us going forward or not. I mean, other than
if you
the
look
3
at
points. I mean, the 3 points, right? They punt. We kicked it to them. They could have punted. Who knows?
So if we did kick the field goal and up 3, and they get the ball back and they punt it again, now you're playing with house money because now you have the ball and you're up 3. I think it was under 6 minutes to go, 7 minutes, something like that. Different, but like you say, it's easy to play Sunday morning quarterback now.
Right.
But
I just wish the play call was better.
Yeah, that's my only.
If the play call would have been better.
Well, and that went back to the game before. I mean, and this is not any shade on Donald Chaney. He's not picking up the 4th and 1s. Sorry, give somebody else a chance. Like put somebody else in there on 4th and 1, the short yardage plays, and give them an opportunity, because 2 of the biggest fourth and 1s that we've had,
he didn't get it.
He didn't get it. Well, the one he probably did.
He
had it on third down, and then probably did get it. But still, if you get 3 yards, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Garrett says this is the second game in a row where we should have taken the points. I think we should have taken them last week. This week it made no difference. Literally, we still lost 34-30. So I'm not going to second guess the boss when it comes to that. Let's hop into the next segment, which is what can we do? What can we do to fix things? Sam, I'm going to go to you first on this again, and just give us a couple sentences. I appreciate you too, Ransdale. Glad you were able to hop in here with us for a few. We appreciate you.
We have to find a way to become more, and there's no shade on anyone, to be more productive on offense. I think our defense is more of a front running style defense, which means I think they play best when we're ahead. So with that being said, football is one of those complementary sports. So when the defense isn't doing well, you need the offense to pick them up. When neither offense or defense is struggling, you usually look to your special teams. So things like that. So I feel like our offense has to do a little bit more because we have the playmakers. We have to do a little bit more to put our defense in positions to where that they can succeed. Because I feel and I believe that they play better when they can dictate when they know what's coming, when the other team has to pass, things like that. So I think this probably needs to fall more on the offense a little bit more to either put some more points on the board, something like that, so that you can help your defense until they start to come along later on in the season.
Babu says, seems like our defensive coaches are good at making adjustments, but poor at scouting the opponents to start the games. Garrett Hoover says, I hate to say I agree with the Miami fan, but it could have been a huge momentum shift.
He was talking to you.
I mean, it's easy to say it could have been, but it's also easy to be like, well, it may not have. It may not have done anything. Yeah.
We could have went 3 and out. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Shawn, what about you? What do we need to do differently going forward to turn this around? Because there's a lot of, and obviously, I'm talking about a very small portion of people on social media who I saw somebody say, "Oh, we're going to lose the last 9 games on our schedule."
I saw that.
I seen somebody that said they hoped we lost the rest of them so they would fire Brom. He was just another hire like the last basketball.
We went
coach.
10 and
Yeah. No, I know.
this year.
I know. Yeah. That infuriated me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you as a fan. Like, switch to somebody else.
What's up, Craig?
I would say be an Alabama fan, but
Yeah.
we'll save that for later.
Save that one for later. Yeah.
What we can do is, I think the coaches just need to believe in what their game plan is. Sometimes I feel like, especially on defense, they try to over adjust early on, maybe instead of sticking with what the game plan is. I feel like also it's just a matter of just executing better. And I don't know now how you do that. I don't know. I don't know how that comes about because I'm not a coach. I'm not a player. I don't know.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm not-
A lot of things.
come about.
But I just think, especially in the offensive line, we got to figure that out because that you can't have Jack Plummer. you can't have
fired.
Tyler Shuck running for his
Get the
life.
Shuck out of here.
Because he was running for his life yesterday. Some of those throws were amazing that he made. He's on his back foot on at least 2 of them where he just slings it.
He's going to be playing on Sundays somewhere.
He saved the offensive line of multiple sacks that would have been on them had he not been as good as he is. He's great. He will be playing on Sunday somewhere, but they've got to get the offensive line figured out and the defense. They got to get the execution figured out and the game planning figured out, like Garrett actually said, or not Garrett, Babu said.
Yeah,
SMU jumps into the top 25 at 25th. Louisville has 2 votes.
That's understandable. We haven't looked good.
I'm surprised we got
Our
2
2
votes.
losses are to number 25 and number 12. I think that's a little bit ridiculous, but
Yeah, I
it is
don't
what it is.
2 votes, but no, what we got to do to turn it around is what to me is 100% in 2 spots: defensive line and offensive line. It's the trenches. On offense, what's hurting us? Offensive line, false starts, missing blocks, missing assignments, Shuck being, running for his life. Defensive line, we're getting no pass rush at all. No pass rush. Running backs, running quarterbacks are running right through the defensive line, right through them. And then our linebackers, there was a couple plays where, like Shawn was like, oh, why didn't he come up? But like, he was the last defender. He was like, he knew that if he didn't make the right decision, the guy's going past him. And there was nobody, a lot of times there was nobody on that immediate third level right behind the linebacker to make a play. So, but if you can provide some sort of block in that first line of defense to where they're not even having to make a decision on which way to go until they're almost in the third level of the defense. Halfway through, so you got to make them make a decision behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. Okay, these holes are closed up. I have to I have to bounce it to the outside. It was a design up the middle. I got to bounce it out, or I got to choose this, which Isaac Brown on the flip side on offense, amazing job with that yesterday. I got to give the offensive line a little bit of credit on the running game, especially in the eye. They were fantastic. But to me, if I'm the coaching staff and I see that, well, that's where I make adjustments. If this is working, you're going to have to prove to me that you can stop it. It's just like if I was playing NCAA, I will run the same play 12 times in a row if you can't stop it. Right?
Shawn does. Shawn runs the
I
same
think he
play the
ran it
entire
2 or
game.
3 times. and
Well,
both-
but they were running and passing out of that formation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like the same formation. If you can't stop it, I'm just going to keep doing it. Like I'm going to keep running it down your throat, passing it down your throat. Like you got to stop it. But we went away from that. And again, I'm not a coach, so I don't pretend like I understand everything about what's going on. But just from the outside looking in, if my offensive line is doing everything better because I put them in this formation, this scheme, this package, why would I go back to shotgun where they're having problems? Like, and then shotgun on short yardage, late down, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 out of the gun, you're going to have to make a decision. I'm not going to make it for you. If we're in the gun, you're just going to make sure all the gaps are filled in right away and then stop us. And that's what they did.
They blitzed every time we went empty backfield.
Mhm.
Every single time we went empty backfield, they blitzed and they got home every
And
time.
they got there every single, which it just always befuddles me to no end because it's like it's 11 people on each side of the ball. Like somebody's got to be wide. Somebody has to be wide open every play.
Mhm.
If they're bringing 7, right?
Yep.
And it's an empty backfield. You got 5 linemen, 5 defensive linemen. That means there's 2 guys pretty much coming unabated to the quarterback somewhere. So you should have 2 guys wide open
Mhm.
that even in a split second, you should be able to make a play. And we weren't able to.
Part of it too is I think some of it was they were running a lot of longer routes, and they're blitzing. You gotta know that, and then you're checking some kind of short route, a slant, something.
Have a 7-step.
Yeah.
Just stop. Let me, be right there in case I need to get rid of the ball.
Yep.
They played great on offense. We scored almost 30 points. Actually, again, there were 2 dropped touchdowns in the end zone.
Yeah.
So we're really at what? 41 point. The offense put up 40 points yesterday. They did. That's even with the offensive line. I mean, so we're talking about the offensive line woes on the other formations. We're as good as our average points per game said, going in yesterday said 40-something points a game. Defensively, we got to figure something out, man. Like, because Miami will mark us.
Yeah, Miami they're going to see what we struggled against. They're going to be like, oh, we can go no huddle. No problem.
Well, and they've probably at this point right now got one of the top 5 Heisman candidates
Oh, yeah.
at
Cam
the
Ward's
quarterback,
real good.
so, and we've proven game after game the last 3 weeks that we cannot hardly stop a running quarterback.
Stanford, I believe, is the only team left on our schedule who's not receiving votes or ranked. So it is definitely going to
That'd be brutal.
A tall test, but I wouldn't say the season's been ruined. There's plenty of time for that to be true or false left in the season. We're at 3-2, so that means we still have 7 games left.
And you have opportunity. If they're all ranked, you got opportunity.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's now ranked. Who else? Clemson's ranked. Miami's ranked, and Virginia's ahead of us in receiving votes.
Boston College, did they?
I don't know. Let me.
I think
see.
they won yesterday too.
No, I think they played Virginia, and Virginia beat them.
Yeah, they were up big on Virginia, and then they lost.
Oh, they suck.
So maybe Virginia's the other one that we need to keep. And
of course we play them next week on the road. I hate playing Charlottesville.
They always play us tough, or we always play down to them, either or.
Man, Vanderbilt got hosed.
So
you mean they didn't here? And for the second straight week, I'll never understand it. So we were so bad when we lost to Notre Dame that we fell 7 spots, but they went up there. SMU jumped 10 spots in the rankings after beating a ranked Louisville team, and we fell like 13.
Yeah, and Alabama only fell to 7th.
I mean, are you shocked?
Where's Georgia on that list?
Second, right?
Okay.
Fourth.
They moved up to fourth. But like if you lose to Vanderbilt in football,
You should
you
fall
should
out.
fall to number 50, regardless.
They just lost to Georgia State, right? Vanderbilt did. Georgia State.
Yep. They did.
Before that.
Look,
that shoots out
Vanderbilt
in
has.
value.
I've watched 2 or 3 Vanderbilt games this year. They're better than they've probably been in a long time. I will give them that. They've got a great quarterback. They've got some good receivers. They play a good scheme. I don't know if you watched any of that. While wrestling was on, I had it on my phone, and we were they play a good scheme. They play almost a wishbone a lot of the times, and it confused the crap out of Alabama. It was awesome to see.
Awesome to see.
Roll downhill tide.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to go to our commercial break really, really quickly. We'll be right back with you all. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. Let's go ahead and throw it to the awesome guy that's commentating these videos. I think he's really good. There's the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters. It's time. Located behind the El Nepal at 2745 Crittenden Drive. They're set up there all football season for the home game. Shout out to Bill, Garrett, Rhino, Craig, Kevin, Doc, and the crew. Rest in peace, Corrito, for a great time. Hit up the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters. Four Pegs Beer Lounge, where every week is either Wings Day or Ribs Day. On Wings Day, $20 all-you-can-eat jumbo smoked wings and $1.25 per wing all day long. On Ribs Day, come get the best ribs in the Ville for just $25 all you can eat or $2 a bone all day long. Fitness Market. Contact our fine friends at Fitness Market to find out how they can furnish your dream at-home gym. From treadmills to saunas to weights, they have you covered. Planet Fitness. Shout out to Planet Fitness and Rick Cooper for helping us look sharp on the sidelines this summer. Great monthly deals for memberships as well. Check your local listings for a location near you. Cherry Picking, a hoops-themed cold-pressed juice and smoothie bar inspiring you to take what's good. Conveniently located at 828 East Main Street behind the local seltzery. Tell them CSZ sent you for 15% off your total order. Shoot 360, a premier state-of-the-art basketball training facility with highly skilled trainers. Call 515-6556 and sign up today. Great value all around. And if you go to shoot360.com, you can pre-register for a free workout. Come to Shoot 360, the world's most advanced basketball training facility. Rally House. Check out our friends at the Jefferson Mall. Lisa, D, Rico, Amanda, and the crew. Tell them Cardinal Sports Zone sent you. They'll make sure you get taken care of really well. Rally House. Our house. Your house. Rally House. Local stuff. Last but not least, our fine friends at Mossy Oak and Hart Properties. If you are in the market to buy or sell farms, land, recreational, or residential areas in the state of Kentucky, let Paul or one of their team of professionals at Mossy Oak and Hart Realty help you out with all your buying and selling needs. Call Paul at 270-537-4422 or email him at pthomas@mossyoakproperties.com. Mossy Oak, we know land. Now back to you guys in the studio. All right, thank you, whoever that was. We appreciate it. Shawn over here pointing, looking. He definitely pecks on his computer.
Unbelievable.
There you go. Well, he hit that one. Never mind. The first time anybody ever said that to him. Welcome back to the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wildman, here with the family, Sam, Shawn, and Joey. Wes Keys just woke up, so he won't be joining us today. Hopefully he's watching us. He had a hard week of not having to be in work the last 4 days, so it must have taken a toll on him. Shout out to him. Shout out to Wes, though, man. He walked to the Marriott from his home Thursday. Was it Thursday night or Wednesday night? Thursday night. To help welcome in Tyran Stokes to the Ville. Huge crowd there. Shout out to the people that put that on. It was a great time. I'm not going to say that I was there or that I wasn't there, but it was very impressive to see the amount of people and how impressed he was by the showing that we had. Speaking of that, Friday night, Louisville Live again. We're going to switch our segments around a little bit. We've talked football for a little bit too much. I want to get hype for a minute, so we'll go ahead and just cut that out and put that down here. Okay, it is what it is. Most of us went to Louisville Live Friday night. Joe, you did not. People are asking if the show is brought to us by Hostess. It is not brought to us by Hostess.
It's on every side.
Yeah. And that Cardinals piece there, y'all got water bottles and drink bottles and everything covering it, and I'm trying to sell those. I'm just kidding. Louisville Live, again, you get the complaining afterwards. But for the most part, very cool introductions to the team. They had like almost a wrestling feel to it, entrance feel to it when everybody came out. They had a 3-on-3. Yeah, they were throwing their L's up very slowly. 3-on-3 game was pretty fun to watch. The only thing I didn't like as far as the presentation was when they had them old people out there shooting free throws. And there were more air balls in that 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds Friday night than there was all of last 2 years at U of L.
I was going to say 42 years of Shawn's life.
Go ahead.
Uneffing believable.
There you go. Sometimes you do deserve to hit it. What?
That's what we've been
We agree.
asking for.
Well, we've been
42 years.
trying to tell them. By the way, we're still working on the Sirius XM deal. So fingers crossed.
Baby.
But no, that's the only thing I didn't really care for. I get it. Those people donate money for Louisville Live, so they want to look all big and tough out there shooting their free throw. I mean, they should have practiced a little more. I'm not going to say any names because some of them may be fans of the show. Some of them may even represent the area I'm in and try to get a lien put on my house. So I'm not going to say anything by name. But yeah, it was horrible. That was horrible. But everything else seemed like the recruits were into it. I had a good time. I'm never going to complain about paying $15 to go watch what we've all begged for 30 years, some sort of a Midnight Madness college basketball exhibition, and then get there and complain because kids were missing dunk, or complained because the 3-on-3 game went on a little longer than they wanted it to go on. Like, I had a good time. Shawn, what were your thoughts on it? You all, we took a big CSZ caravan up there, me, you, Sam, just now waking up Wes, Teresa, and your nephew Mason. We all went up there and got to see a lot of people that we hadn't. I mean, that's my favorite. Just to go off track for a second. Oh, I wonder if that is Sleepy. Oh, Sleepy kid, Sleepy guy. What's up, Sleepy guy?
Don't hold it against me. Hold on. I'm trying to. I don't know.
I'm trying.
We don't know. You don't know.
I don't know.
I thought the camera was gonna come on, but I guess it's because
The camera's on, bro.
Yeah,
your camera is on.
We clearly see you.
Joey, stop it.
No, we can see you. I can
I'm
see
being
you.
serious.
Right now, I can see you. Now your camera's turned
You're not
sideways.
John Cena. You're just.
Now your camera's
Man, I wish we was
now
on
you're
serious
sideways the
right
other
now,
way.
right
You just don't have your
Now
phone
you
on
gotta turn
rotate. That's the problem.
Right there.
There you go.
Right there.
Right there.
Perfect.
Camera keeps going
Perfect.
limp on us.
Perfect.
Hold on.
Man,
He pulled out.
He's gonna.
There he is.
Now he's back.
Back. No, we don't want to get copyrighted. Never mind. You just gotta look. Go to the top of your phone. Switch it to rotate.
No,
Uneffing believable.
Just hold your phone right in front of your face.
That's good right there. We can see you right there, but your phone is locked on portrait right now. You need to switch it to landscape.
Shawn will explain what.
Oh god.
No, we're trying to explain to you. You're the one that's still straight up and down like 6 o'clock, or like Shawn on the weekends. All right, Shawn, we'll get back to before Rip Van Winkle joined us. What was your impressions of Louisville Live Friday night, Shawn?
I just like to have it again because we missed it last year, right? Getting to see the team in person. We got to see them in the Bahamas. We got to see them in person. We got to see some of the athleticism, some of the shooting. We're going to be a very good shooting team, both teams, men's and women's. Kadir Traore is going to be maybe the most athletic player on the team. I think he'll start. I just don't see how he can't. He's He's just too athletic, does a lot of things. He's
so much personality too, man.
Oh,
We
yeah.
love to see personality from your basketball players and not. And there's Wes back and forth again. Wes, you're here.
Is he doing it on purpose?
I think he's trolling us. I think he's doing this on purpose now.
No, my portrait mode was never on, but it's like for some reason it won't go sideways when I try to.
Shawn.
Little blue pill.
Uneffing believable.
Sam, what about you? Your thoughts on Louisville Live?
For one, I was impressed with the turnout.
9,000 people approximately, according to records.
And the second one, like you said, is the personality. You love to see. You love when these young men and women get in the environment and they can show who they really are. So, and that kind of helps sells themselves, sells the university. Of course, you have the NIL things going on now. So, but I was mostly impressed with the personality of the young men and women, and then seeing what they, like Shawn said, the shooters, both men and women. But like I said, I was mostly impressed with the turnout.
Man, Waterman versus Rain Smith in the finals of the 3-point competition. That was pretty intense. And like I said earlier, like the thing that you love the most is you see people that you've not seen for a while, or like my guy Corey from Twitter got to hang out and talk to him for a little bit. A supervisor I had back in, gosh, me and Teresa weren't even dating yet. So it was the job we met at. Our supervisor was one of the ushers, and I wanted to be like, huh, you were a supervisor, now you're an usher?
Right now, it's not good to be any
nothing
type of usher.
No.
Oh god.
And then I got to hang out and talk with Tick Rogers and Bozak Smith for a little bit. That was fun. B. Sim was there. He was having a good time. I don't want to leave anybody out but as soon as we walked up, it was like, oh, Team CSZ's in the building, and that felt good. That just to see people you hadn't seen in a while and talk. Baboon wants to know if there's anything to the talk that Stokes might reclassify to 2025 recruiting team. Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything about. I know there's some chatter about that being a possibility, but nothing like set in stone. Like he's.
No, I hadn't heard anything either.
I was talking to the recruiting team.
Oh,
the student athlete recruiting team, not the recruiting Shawn a date team.
I quit that job.
So did he. Wes, what about you, man? What were your takeaways and thoughts from Louisville Live Friday night?
Man, honestly, it was an awesome event. Seeing the guys and girls out there just having fun, like seeing them come out of their entrances so hyped up. Seeing Coach Kelsey is a 49-year-old man, and seeing him run out there like that, just hype, nonstop. The energy is real with him, and certain people try to call it a gimmick. No, that's who he really is. And the 3-point contest was definitely the best part. Seeing Noah and Rain go back and forth. We were sitting together, and I looked at y'all, and I was like, "Are we sure Rain's the best shooter on the team?"
And to his credit, he did prove it in the finals that he was the best shooter on the team.
He proved it in the finals, but at the same time, Noah had me on the edge of my seat for a second in the first half of it, because he was just lighting it up. He came out cooking with gas the whole time, letting it fly nonstop, and it's crazy to see a 6'10" dude just shoot the way he was shooting. It's scary.
Absolutely. Fabian says, very disappointing loss, but still plenty of season left to get back on track. But the Virginia-Miami games are must win now. And we talked about this last year. So we're not going to even act like we didn't. When we did our end of the season review, I said my fear was we'd done so well this year that next year we were going to ultra criticize ourselves. And if we didn't get 10 wins, some of the fan base would act like the sky was falling. We're seeing that play out in real life now. My expectation, last segment, we got our changed expectations ? Obviously, mine have changed because I thought we were only going to lose 2 games. Do I think we can run out? I mean, yeah, we could run out the rest of the season. Well, Sam's got his Pat Kelsey glasses on. Didn't pick me up a pair, even though I took him to the game and brought him home. But whatever. No shade, especially for him because he's got on his Pat Kelsey glasses. But have your all's expectations changed? Wes, we'll go to you first on this one.
That's tough because honestly, we didn't expect to drop back-to-backs like that. So, I mean, of course they'll shift, but we could still mess around the table. But I don't know, the way the team is playing up and down, like the consistency is iffy.
Well,
So,
there's no doubt about it. We can, the way that we're playing right now, we've got to show that there is room for change and that we are changing because the definition of the word of fanatic is to expect the same thing over and over, but with a different result. And or something like that and have the same result or something. I don't know. I don't do definitions for a living, but the point is, it would be real silly of me to be like, oh yeah, I think we're only going to still lose 2 games right now because we lost to a team I didn't think we were going to lose to. So it's like mine have changed. I'm now from 2 loss. I think we might lose 4, but still a 4-loss season isn't that horrible. Shawn, what do you think?
Yeah, I revised mine to 4 losses because I just you're playing some really good teams. I mean, we are.
Yeah.
And some teams that we didn't expect to be good are actually pretty good. And the other teams that may not be on our level, they have something that we have been having trouble with consistently so far this season. So it's hard to say, oh, yeah, we're going to win out. We could, because we could put it together.
Yeah.
It's happened to plenty of teams before where they have that ebb and they find a flow. And we're hoping right now that we've hit our ebb and now we're going to find a flow.
Never thought we'd have an ebb and flow reference.
Do you have ebb?
Well, he doesn't have the flow, so.
Well, I'm just trying to find out if he's even got ebb. If he doesn't have ebb, he ain't getting the flow.
And to Shawn's credit, like he said, we didn't think Pittsburgh and Virginia were going to be as good as they are. SMU's about what I thought they were. We just played worse than we normally do, or than we should have against them. Clemson's still a beast. Miami's still a beast. Stanford still snot rockets.
Excuse me.
Boston College isn't that good, but they have Castellanos.
Remember, I predicted at the beginning of the year we were going to lose to Miami and Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I was wrong on both of those. Sam?
Hopefully.
My expectations were 9-3.
Okay.
Right now we're 3-2. So I'm not gonna change them yet because what's going on is fixable. It's not easily fixable. It's not a magic pill or word you can say or whatever. But
Shawn needs that magic pill if there is one.
Hymns.
Oh God. Unbelievable.
That's who I'll go after for a sponsor on Sirius Radio.
Hymns and Blue Chew. Joey's Pocket Rocket Hour.
Blue Chew and Manscaped. I'll see if Daniel can put me in contact with Manscaped.
Manscaped sponsors every show.
Hey, we're in it.
But yeah, so like I said, we can still get to 9-3. It's not impossible for us to get to 9-3. There's work to be done to get to 9-3, but until we're not 9-3, my expectation still is 9-3 for this team.
Joey?
Well, obviously mine have to change because I said 11-1, I believe. So mine are different, but I still feel confident in the fact that, again, we're averaging 41. We were averaging 41 or 42 points a game going into yesterday. We should have had 42. We dropped 2 touchdowns. If you score 40-something points a game, you're going to win most of your games. So I feel like we're still in a good spot. There's going to be attrition within the rest of the ACC. We don't have to finish first. We just have to finish second to get into the ACC championship game. So I still feel like we got a great shot at that. And technically, as you've seen on the screen yesterday, with a loss, we still have an 8% chance at the college football playoff. So we could run the table, win the ACC championship, and still get into the 12-team playoff. I'm a glass half full type of guy. I think that once we get Quincy Riley back on the field, that changes our defense. That changes our defense big time. And, on some of those drives yesterday, and we even – one play we forgot to point out that was kind of a momentum shifter. Salar Brown gets a roughing the passer call that, good grief, he patted him on the shoulder pad.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And then Plummer's getting just leveled on all those.
Shuck.
Well, Plummer did too. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Even on the first penalty of the game, well, I think our first penalty of the game on the late hit out of bounds, I think that was such a bang.
Yeah,
call.
the announcers, even the rules analyst they brought up, what'd you
Yeah.
think? He said, man, that's so close. Like, how are you asking a guy going full speed to pull up right there? Because you don't know if that guy's going to try to cut back in at the last second, which he could. He was right on the white. I mean, come on. There was a lot of penalties, but if we know they're calling those, that's where I'm in the defensive coaching room with the players and saying, hey, excuse me, not coughing, but we got to be smarter. If we know they're calling these, if the ball is gone, just don't touch them.
Yeah.
Just don't touch. But for me, that would be hard as how I was taught playing football. Those type of plays where it's balls released, you put hands on them, because what's that do?
But get in his head.
Gets in their head. If they know that you're not going to touch them, they're going to make different decisions. So it's kind of a danged if you do, danged if you don't type of situation. Because if you start pulling back, then maybe he doesn't throw that ball and he just takes off. But it's all fixable. I'm going to say 9-3, and I still think that gives us a chance to play in the ACC championship game.
All right. Babu says he just looked at SMU's schedule remaining.
It is weak.
It's extremely easy if we get back to the ACC title game and we might be playing them again. I would welcome that, because that would mean that Miami and Clemson had both horribly fallen off, or that we had just beaten Clemson and Miami had fallen horribly
And that's
off.
the other thing. Even if we had beat them, then if their remaining schedule is kind of weak, we still do have Clemson. We still do have an undefeated Pittsburgh team. We still do have Miami. It may not have mattered either way. I mean, we've got some good teams ahead of us to play, and it's going to be difficult no matter how you cut it. So, you can have expectations at the beginning of the season like we all did and predict scores and records and all that good stuff. But until teams actually start playing and you see what their product is on the field, it's kind of hard to do that. I mean, you can do it based off of what you think your team is going to do. But a lot of these other teams that we thought were, oh, that's a win. Oh, that's a win. They're playing a lot better football than most people thought coming into the season.
All right, let's head to rapid fire really quick. That clip's just a little too long, TJ, but whatever. Here for the rapid fire. Congrats to Caney Ruth, as Jiggy spelled it, on winning the dunk contest at Louisville. That's Kenai Ruth's. Rain Smith won the 3-point competition. Black team consisting of 3 versus 3 champs: Jalea Williams, Javon Henley, McKinley Randolph, Terrence Edwards, Stephen Van Treese. Coaches were Ali Khalifa and Cody Rogers. So congrats to them. Elena Scott was named the ACC Defensive Player of the Week and ABCA Game Changer National Player of the Week. She had 39 digs and back-to-back conference sweeps. Louisville has been selected as the host institution for the 2026 NCAA Women's Field Hockey National Championships and the first and second rounds of the 2027 NCAA Men's Basketball. And number 4 Louisville Volleyball swept number 2 Stanford last week. And Clemson on Friday, they faced number 13 Georgia Tech. They're currently playing them right now. It says to provide an update. I don't have that update.
I got it.
You've got the up.
Yep, they're up 1-0.
All right. Gosh dang, Shawn, you actually prepared. I like that.
Yeah.
The first step in getting where you need to be.
Dude has got the Philadelphia. What's the name of that building in Philadelphia where it's got all them steps at the front? Come on, Shawn. You know what it's called.
The Rocky Building.
That's what I call it.
Shawn is a rocky building of steps away from getting that figured out. Guys, we thank you again for tuning in today. Make sure you're supporting our photographers, Jeff Nunn, TJ Barr, Justin Kruger. We appreciate all of you all. Shout out to everybody that's covering the teams individually. Just Louisville Live Friday, we got to see Blake and Jeff Nunn doing their thing. Sam was at the football game yesterday along with Jeff, taking photos and writing up stories and doing their job. If you see us out in our CSZ game, acknowledge us and then appreciate us. We really do appreciate you guys. Shout out to all of our fine sponsors: Fitness Market, Four Pegs, Collision Course Crew Tailgaters, Cherry Pick and Shoot 360, Mossy Oak, Planet Fitness, Rally House. We will be doing. Did talk to Peyton and Dean and the crew this week, and they're interested in having us back out there for more shows. So that's definitely something we're interested in doing going forward. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, bottom left-hand corner tells you how you can sponsor the Sports Zone podcast. Tune into the show every Friday night at 10:05 p.m., Sundays at 1 p.m. Stay tuned to our social media and subscribe on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, even though we prefer the YouTube. You can find the audio version on over 125 different podcast avenues, including Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, TuneIn, Google, Amazon Music, and iHeart. Hit subscribe, like, plus, or whatever it is that Shawn does on the weekends. Which, by the way, Shawn, we got a very, very important question that a viewer just asked us, so we're going to go ahead and get to that real quick.
No.
All right, very, very good to get that answer. I just wanted to make sure that was a perfect place to fit it in too. Shawn, we'll explain that to you later. We'll explain that to Shawn later. We're good friends. Again, whatever it is Shawn does on the weekends, stalk, video voyeurism, whatever button you see there for you to be able to download those directly to your phones or laptops every time they come out. You can do that on those podcast avenues. If you haven't listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, it's easy to catch up. Go to cardinalsportszone.com, the place that I'll begin. Go to the podcast drop-down menu, select CSZ Podcast, or you can go back and listen to some of our old stuff on the archives tab there, right above the CSZ Podcast. It's fun to catch up. We got great exclusive writers here: Shawn, Sam, Dalton, Jeff, Blake, the whole crew, just representing and getting it done. Balake, that's what I call him, Balake. Shout out to everybody out there sharing the podcast. We appreciate and love you guys. Shout out to our guys Marcus Maven and Steve Rummage, doing the Lord's work Monday through Friday from 10 to noon on ESPN 93.9 The Ville, 502 Circle. Shout out to them. Shout out to our guy Dan Furman, got married yesterday. Shout out Dan. Wishing you nothing but the happiest of lives with you and your bride. Make sure you donate to the 502 Circle if you can. You can do it for as low as $25 a month, or you can do one-time donations of $1, $5, whatever you got. No amount is too little or too big to help out. Gosh, man. Freaking fan. Sorry. Plus, they're putting out great content on the Floyd Street Media Network. Go Loud, Bilal Powell, keeping it 100 with Kaysen and Noah. And Harry Douglas does this little spot every week that's real fun, too. Also on our network now, we've got Around the ACC with DP. It comes out every Friday. Check that out, as he has a comprehensive look on the ACC from every side. On social media, where can everybody find you guys at, Shawn? And again, social media, I mean Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, not Farmers Only,
not your
Bumble,
not your OnlyFans account.
Or OnlyFans, yes. Where can they find you on the Twitter?
At Elville Shawn.
Sam?
Baseboy124.
Joey?
Joe Woman 526.
Wes?
West Keys _CSZ.
I'm Jeremy _CSZ. We're going to get to our last words real quick. As I said earlier, we do have some exciting news for you all. Our hats come in. So as you can see, we've got the, let me go ahead and pull the rest of these out.
When I say that, I get in trouble.
Talking about hats.
Oh.
We have the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast hat in red. We've got it in black. We've got the snapbacks or fitted as well. And then we've got the website hats, which simply just say CSZ and with our logo on it. You can get that in any color as well. Any size, any style. Again, how much did I say they were earlier? 35?
Yep.
Just $35. We're passing our discount. We're not going to make anything off these hats, but we do not care because, and again, you can see the price of these hats are $31.99 per blank hat. So we're not going to be making anything off these. I didn't want you all to think that we were trying to swindle you all for money. We're just trying to, y'all been asking for hats. We got the hats. Let us know if you'd like a hat. You can do that by DMing any of us. And of course, the crew, if you all wear your hats out and somebody compliments it, make sure y'all are promoting that. That's my last words for today. That and the fact that it's not the end of the world. We still have our health. Yeah, go Cards.
Nap.
No, I need this fan to stop blowing so hard. But if it's not blowing hard, then I'm sweating my off. So it is what it is. Shawn, yes, you're first. Your last words. Not in life, but for today.
It's Merkin season in Charlottesville. I believe we'll get back on track. Everybody, just calm down. It's going to be okay. They still have plenty of opportunity to get right back into everything. All the goals are still there.
Cavaliers and Presidents, beware. Shawn's coming to annihilate your land on Saturday. Sam?
Once again, shout out to all those in attendance for the Louisville Live. There were a few basketball recruits, men and women's recruits out there. There were some top talent from the state of Kentucky. I almost said city, but the city of Louisville too. And the state of Kentucky, you had Jaden McLean, Sakiah Johnson, and Miss Jordan from Sacred Heart as well. But my last words outside of that for today is I haven't said it in a while. Just relax, folks. It's a long season. There's some things that we know needs to be fixed, and trust me, the folks on Floyd Street, they know it needs to be fixed too, and they're probably working at it right now as we speak. Because Coach Brom is from Louisville. He wants to represent the city and the state the best way he can. So he's going to work to fix those things. So just relax, and support the young man, and let's keep this thing going and stay positive.
Have faith. That's all you got to do. Have faith. Coach Brom does know what he's doing. Even if you all think it's not shown these last 2 weeks, he will get things right. He'll get them going. Get her going. Wes, what about you?
I
would say final thoughts, but these are kind of like your first thoughts since you joined like 62 minutes late. But go ahead.
Because I tried to go after the other link that you sent me, and I tried to just pop in like that, but it didn't work.
No, I sent the new link like 30 minutes before the show started.
Yeah.
Good try though.
Yeah.
He's been hanging out with Beaches and Cream too much. That's what the problem is, really.
I didn't go out last night, so that's funny.
But go ahead. Your final words for the week.
Just gotta get it together, man. Gotta shore up. Gotta get everything right. There's a lot to work on, but there's still a lot of positives with this team. And Louisville Live was a good experience as usual, good crowd. Like you said, we had at least 9,000 people there at the least. And it was good to see the fan base really come out, get involved. It was a good weekend for Cardinal Athletics outside of yesterday.
Absolutely. And the thing I'm the most grateful for is that after the show, Wes can go back to sleep and get the rest of his rest. Really quick, Stevie Rhodes pops in from Twitter with a great point. I agree. We all want to win, and so do they. People needs to be more positive. Go Cards. Yeah, and the people that are telling people, here's the fact of the matter. You buy a ticket to the game, if you want to go there and act like a sad sack of crap, or you want to go and act like the craziest fanatic in the world, what you do with your money is your business. You can't tell people don't come to the games if you're not going to be loud, because guess what? A majority of this fan base is 40 and older now. They don't get wild like they used to. So let's stop with the fan judging and stuff like that. It's not needed. We need to come together, not get further apart, especially, again, I say this, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but this was fall break. A lot of people weren't even in town yesterday for the game. We still had 50,000 people show up at the game, which is impressive with everything going on. And whether you want to think it's a big deal, whether you're 26 years old and you have no kids and you think that, oh, my kids have football games on Saturdays, is an excuse. It's not an excuse. Do you think that if I had children, I'm going to miss their games to go to Louisville football? Sam, if you had kids, would you miss their games to go to a football game for Louisville? Gosh dang it. Oh, I'm sorry. I said if you had kids. Sam's probably got like a bunch of them spread around the city that we don't know.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding.
Easy.
Not that he knows of.
Listen.
Hey, not that he knows of.
Quentin, yo, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining us. You were only here like 3 minutes later than Wes was, and he was on the show today, so that's impressive. Last but certainly not least, Joey, give us your last words of the evening.
Well, I'll start off with get your pet spayed or neutered, like Shawn. Help control the population. Then we're going to kind of.
Did you see Hugh?
No, but saw him over here at Jeremy's yesterday.
What you see in my house is not for them to know.
Oh, Mr. Janus left.
Yeah. Mr. Janus left. Sorry, go ahead, Joey. I just couldn't stop laughing at Hugh Janus.
But
seriously,
meant to start this like last week or the week before. Kind of like I always talk about Maryland's trash, and they are, especially RJ Maryland. Tore us up yesterday. Maryland's trash. Jeremy asked me, does that pertain to anything? If your last name is Maryland, if your name is Mary Land, sorry, you're hot garbage.
Good Lord.
But who's trash? Well, yesterday, who's trash?
Alabama.
The SEC juggernauts.
Yeah, Tennessee lost.
Period.
Yeah.
Missouri blown out. Like they 3 of their top 10 teams lost yesterday. Alabama. And it was funny and fitting that after the game, when the fans were storming the field, they played a clip from Nick Saban where he had once said, the only place in the SEC where it's easy to go and play and win a game is Vanderbilt.
He said that on game day 2 weeks ago.
And man, as much respect as I have for Nick Saban, remember the old segment, Eat a Diss?
Yes.
I think that's what he's eating today. Oh my gosh. Now, in all fairness, like
in my Shannon Sharp voice.
Don't you run from me. Relax. Relax.
Michelle.
Oh my God.
That is not, if we have any listeners named Michelle, he wasn't referencing you, I hope. Unless you know Shannon Sharp. But no, man, the mighty SEC.
Don't look so mighty.
Hey, and it ain't even that though. Look, the Big Ten took a hit yesterday too. They had some teams lose. Michigan, USC, I think it was 5 or 6 of the top 11 lost yesterday. So, SEC, Big Ten, you're trash. I said it. Come at me, bro.
You didn't say the rest of your deal. Pet population.
I started off with that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I said I'm going to start off with that from now on because I'm going to finish with the trash segment.
My bad.
Because I said control the population like Shawn.
Like Shawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started.
Well, Shawn self controls his population.
He might self-populate too, but it's into a tube sock. But what?
God.
What? Who said
God.
Sam?
Uneffing believable.
Hey, you know what?
Hey,
though?
I'm just getting
We
tuned
Mason
up,
about
getting
that
ready
dude
for
using the-
CSE After Dark.
We teased Mason about using the same sock on Friday.
Oh my god. Unbelievable.
This show's going off the rails. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and hit that outro music. Thanks again for all the support, you guys. We love you all. Until next time, and maybe for the last time, this has been the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast. Socks. Maybe we should name this episode This Socks.
Pay attention.